Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this March 19th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon, and we're on the EOA network. How are you, man?
Good, good. Second Monday.
Yeah.
Second Monday.
Yeah. Beautiful day yesterday, wasn't
It
it?
was gorgeous, yeah.
And
I went for 2 walks yesterday.
It's supposed to be nice today, too.
In the 70s, yeah.
Yeah.
I could have it like that forever. But the problem is next week it's going to snow. I was looking ahead a little bit.
Were you? It's
Yeah.
like it's supposed to get cold again.
Yeah, next Sunday I think it was. It's supposed to be like crummy. Raining, turning into snow, like low 40s is the high that day. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I this last weekend, I turned on. We have a pump for our irrigation, and I wrestled with whether to turn it on, but I needed water out of one of the spigots, and so I turned it on, wondering if that was too early. But yesterday, when we were in the evening, Tanya and I were going out to Elder Embler, and there were a couple of full irrigation pivot systems that were on
Already.
Yeah, and which then made me wonder, like, they must think that it's not going to freeze either, you know?
I mean, once we get to the weather, we'll know a little bit more, but I think it's going to freeze again still.
Yeah. So I don't know how it could be, some of those systems, when they turn, they're self-draining, and so then, I mean, a lot of them probably are, and so then I would imagine that if it gets really cold, they just turn it off and it self-drains, but...
Every time I hear pivots, like I used to change pipe out at my aunt and uncle's, but this is just hand changing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And every once in a while a fish will get through. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like you'll pick up one end and boom, a fish will plop out, or snakes all the time too. Snakes everywhere. So if you're like squirmish when it comes to amphibians or reptiles or fish, probably not a good job.
Well, and that's for when those water systems are pulling out of ponds or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
Usually though, you have the little grates. You know what I mean? That keep them. But every once in a while, it'll fail or something will happen, and they'll get through. A fish will get through, and it becomes like the crazy thing about changing pipe is it doesn't matter if you're doing 3 or 4 inch pipe. If you're doing it by yourself, you get into a rhythm. It takes a little while,
right?
But it's a push pull type thing, because you got your clasp that comes down and hooks on. So you're pushing in, you get the clasp to fall, and then you pull it back to hook it.
Yeah.
And depending upon if you have the square kind that catch the knob or the hook that catch the ledge.
Yeah.
The hook that catches the ledge is a little easier than the actual, like square hole that you have to get on the knob, but it becomes a rhythm, and then you aren't really paying attention, and then the next thing you know, you got like a snake in your pocket or a fish in your lap.
Yeah, well, it's funny. So I've had experience with all that too. My grandparents did, and my early family members, they all did flood irrigation back in. You had ditches and then you'd put a dam and you'd cut a cutout out of the ditch wall, and then they moved to tubes. You ever done tubes?
No.
Yeah, and so it's very similar process. It's a ditch, but they would use, that was a tube that was about like that, and it was just a curve, and so then you'd use a siphon system. So you'd get it going, and then it would just siphon, and then the upgrade from that was pipe, regular sprinklers, and depending on the crop, anyhow.
Yeah, changing pipe it's like monotonous.
Yeah.
I always bring the 22 with me for something to do in case there's magpies or something.
Yeah.
Just because it gets so boring. I mean, if you're just doing the same, you're only moving the dang thing 50 feet or 75 feet, depending upon where
Well, and then the upgrade, did you ever do the side roll system?
No, I've only ever done
pipe, So every one of those, it's been interesting to watch that over the years, is every one of those is an improvement in some manner.
Is that the roll system, the one with the wheels on them?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never.
Yeah. It's the same concept though. It's rather than moving the pipe, you just
Yeah.
it just rolls forward a little bit and you rehook it back up.
Only ever just carried the 4-inchers, the big ones.
Well, and that's kind of how farming is. You
There's
get
worse
by with
jobs.
what you got. Yeah.
There's worse jobs on the farm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Being up in the hay, like I have hay fever, so like putting hay away, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I would rather do pipe than do hoof treatments for sheep. Ooh. Oh no. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'd rather do pipe than for sure. It's not. There's some stuff that's really not fun.
I saw this darling video. So when I was a kid, and if you were feeding cows with bales of hay, you had a 4-wheel drive truck, and you'd put it in 4-wheel drive low.
Yeah,
so then the thing is just barely creeping. Well, there was a social media video of a dad who's in the back of a pickup doing the feeding cows, and the kid driving has got to be 3 or 4 years old, And it's so cute because the camera, you can see the kid's face. It must be on the dash or something, And the dad is saying, "Okay, go to the right," and the kid starts to go to the left and go, "No, the other way," I mean, it's just the most darling thing. It's like, it's a little glimpse into farm life, know. Yeah.
Learn how to drive when you're about 7 years old. I could drive the 1-ton Dodge when I was 7.
Yeah.
1-ton Dodge with 16-foot racks.
Yeah, imagine that with a 7-year-old.
Probably couldn't even drive that damn thing now. But I was driving it back then.
Yeah.
And the old International tractor, I could drive that.
Yeah.
I used to go because I'd come here in the summers up until we moved here. And I used to my aunt and uncle had a mule or a donkey named Murphy. And him and I would just get lost on Pumpkin Ridge for like all day. You know what I mean? And nowadays, if that happened, people would freak out. You know what I mean? But we would just.
He was a donkey, not a mule?
I think he was a donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a stubborn son of a gun.
I was going to say,
he bucked me off one time up there on top.
I was going to say, like donkeys.
No, I rode him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a donkey.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Maybe he was a mule. I don't remember. I don't know. He did buck me off one time, though. And I rode him bareback.
Yeah. Mules
had a saddle, but
mules tend to be a little more compliant.
Might have been a mule.
Slightly. Yeah. But no.
They had a saddle for him, but I was always in a hurry, so I always barebacked it. We'd just go up in the mountain. I was a little kid, too.
Yeah.
And I'd just go up there with my little 22 and collect things. And yeah, it was fun.
No, talk about incredible freedom.
A lot of kids don't get to experience that.
No.
I mean, I was a city kid too, except for in the summers when I came here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a big difference between San Diego and Pumpkin Ridge.
I've never been up on Pumpkin Ridge.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
there's still a rock pile up there named after me. It has the sign and everything, Kyle's Pile.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least as of like 3 years ago.
Well, and how did the pile get there? Did they?
We found it. It's been there. We found it. It was on my aunt and uncle's property, and we just made the sign. We found a coyote den up there too, and named it Ken's Den. That's my brother's name. And then Kyle's Pile. Right off so if you're looking north towards Pumpkin Ridge, just right at the road that goes over the top of Pumpkin Ridge. I can't ever remember what it's called, but my aunt and uncle's, my uncle built the cabin that's right there at the very top. And then Jeannie Taylor bought the property in like 1993 or 4 from my aunt and uncle, and then she built a big house, but the cabin's still there. My aunt and uncle lived in the cabin. My uncle built it by hand. It was nice too. It was nice. It didn't have a bathroom, so I got to learn how to use an outhouse, when I was a kid, And we took bathtubs bathtub was outside.
Yeah.
You know, heated with wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way different.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way different. And it always, so you know that smell from you know that smell of when there's wasps? It's like a pretty strong smell.
I don't know that
when
I
there's
do.
a lot of wasps.
I don't know that I do.
That's what the cabin always smelled like.
Huh.
Wasps.
Huh.
And it was right there on the face of the top of Pumpkin Ridge. And right out the north side of the windows was a big hill with rocks all over it. And we used to sit out on the porch and shoot rock chucks.
Yep.
I loved that place, man. That was like part of my... There wasn't a neighbor... That's where I learned how to trap, too. My uncle was the trapper. And he ran a few trap lines up there. And then the very first business that him and I did together was we trapped starlings for the cherry farmers in the valley.
Oh.
So we'd go set up big fly-in traps. And
I think you told me about that. Yeah.
You climb in with them and you grab them and just wring their neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
how did you attract the starlings in? I can't remember.
Cherries.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean,
so the bait was cherries.
Yeah.
And okay, got it. Yeah.
You just put a lot of
Yeah.
ones that are going bad and they just
Right.
they fly. There's a V in the top,
Yeah.
and they fly in and then they can't figure out how to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not very fun sitting there wringing hundreds of starlings' necks.
No.
But it was a necessity.
Yeah, no, people have no idea how damaging. And starlings, they're an invasive species.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Magpies aren't though,
Yeah.
and magpies are just as terrible. Yeah. They're terrible, man.
And they're clever and smart.
They're smart. If you're trying to shoot them, they know.
Yeah.
They're like scrub jays over on the west side.
Yeah.
Scrub jays are smart. I mean, they look just like a blue jay, except for they don't have the.
Yeah.
And they're protected under the Western Songbird Act, but they are so devastating to, like, if you have a garden, all kinds of stuff. So it's past the we used to just shoot them and throw them in the burn barrel. I mean, I had birdshot 22 in the backyard, and just because they were just so terrible for your garden. They just shred everything up.
Yeah. But it's funny, those type of birds, though, is that, they can see one of their other birds die, but they're going to find a way. They're clever. They're sneaky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
magpies,
almost like,
especially.
It's almost like they have a personality. They I know what you did. You know, and,
Yeah, you like magpies. They're so. So what magpies will do is they'll wait for the sheep to have the lamb, and when it's newborn, they'll go and try to peck its eyes out to eat its eyes.
Yeah.
And you go down the walk, down towards the barn at my aunt and uncle's house, and there's magpies all the way down. But as soon as you start moving, they start moving.
Yeah.
They're super smart.
Yeah.
So I had to shoot them from a long ways away.
Right.
Just take pot shots at them all the time.
Which is not an easy shot. Yeah.
No, they're not big.
Right. Yeah.
With the 22, it's not.
Yeah.
Yep. Fun.
Well,
I miss the farm.
You want to do Schwartz?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Dana and his team. It's nice weather. Get out there. Go golf. It's a beautiful golf course. Dana's got the pro shop looking excellent. It's won numerous awards since Dana and his team have taken over. It's just a great place to be. Meet me at the Peak. Today's Wyoming's Pro Day, so that means Andrew Peasley will be showing off for a bunch of NFL scouts today. The testing that will happen today is they'll do the 225 bench. It'll be just like the combine. Vertical jump, 40-yard dash, broad jump, 3-cone test, 20-yard shuttle, 60-yard shuttle, and then they go through position-specific skills. So, like, he'll throw passes for the pros. And like Andrew said when I interviewed him, he doesn't think that he'll probably get drafted, but he's hoping to, like, walk on somewhere and, get signed by a team, whether it either be practice squad or onto the actual team. So today's a pretty important day for him. He needs to to show off today, and he has the skills to do it. I'll let you guys know how that goes on Thursday. LHS softball is off to a hot start. They beat Enterprise Joseph Wallowa on Thursday, 14-2 in non-league play, and then they traveled to Lewiston on a Saturday and swept Lewiston 10-0 and 7-2. They play this weekend in Idaho at the WPT Classic. Baseball kicks off their season for the Tigers tomorrow at 4 p.m. versus Mac High. It should be nice weather right down here at Optimus, so get down there and support them. EOU women's basketball lost their opening round game of the NAIA tournament to the University of Providence 67-57. So that brings their season to a close. 21-8 on the season, pretty respectable. I don't think they did quite as much as, was kind of expected at the beginning of the season, but this year for these the Lady Mounties basketball team, they didn't have the numbers that they usually have, and they didn't have the size either. So 21-8 for that team is a respectable record. EOU baseball lost all 4 games at home this weekend to Bushnell. It was a tough weekend for the baseball team. EOU softball, though, came out on Friday and swept UBC behind very strong pitching performances from Kaylee Hoskins and Kylie Parsons. The Mounties, however, dropped both games on Saturday. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. The good thing is that only 3 games count for the conference, and it's the first 3 games. So EOU wins the series 2-1 because they won game 1 and game 2, and then turned around and lost game 3 and 4. The 4th game counts on their overall record, but it doesn't count on their conference record. EOU track and field had a nice start to the outdoor season over the weekend. They hit 2 A standards as a team and 2 B standards. Hunter Nichols ran the steeplechase for the first time and hit a B standard, and also won the Electric Forest Open in Lewisburg. For his efforts, Nichols was named the CCC Track Athlete of the Week. And Sports Report brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak.
Good
I
stuff.
tried something new today, and I don't know if I like it. So for my notes, the only thing I really take notes for is the Sports Report.
Right.
And I blew them up a little bit bigger today. It made it go on to more pages, just because I figured, like sometimes I have to get down on it. I don't think I like all these papers, but it's all good.
Well, you covered a lot of info there.
Trial and error, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was also 4 pages.
Yeah.
And usually that's like 1 page or 1 page and a half.
Yeah. All righty.
Let's check out the weather.
Yeah, let's look outside. It's going to be pretty today.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And
it's already cool. First day of shorts for me this year.
Yeah.
Today.
All right, and then let's look at the weather graphic.
See, look at that Sunday.
71.
Rain and snow. Told you.
Wow.
It's going to get all the way down to 30, so that's freezing.
So tomorrow is partly cloudy. Thursday is mostly cloudy. Then it starts to get a little bit of moisture on Friday, Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
it's coming.
Yeah.
This is the last, tomorrow will be the last really nice day.
Yeah.
But then you look at Sunday, it gets all the way down to 30, high of 45. Told you, we aren't done with it.
No, and it does this every time. Kind of, springs it on us a little bit. And
it usually does it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 or 3 days of really nice, and then bam! And then 2 or 3 days of really nice, and then, tricked you.
Yeah. Yep.
No good.
No, for sure. Well, let's take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Here in Eastern Oregon, we're blessed to live in such a wonderful area. And though it may seem mild-mannered, there's actually quite a lot that goes on in this area. And apparently, there's 2 dinguses who happen to be here that are actually crazy enough to get up at the crack of dawn to talk about it. Tune into AM Live on EOA with Brent and Doddsy, featuring special guests, weather, sports, news, and more, every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m., only on EOA Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku.
All right, we're back. Hey, I want to tell you about a new sponsor for a month anyhow, the LeGrand Police Department, and we're just helping them get the word out about their job positions that need to be filled. Right now we're focusing on the officers that they're looking for, either entry level or lateral. Spent some time this last weekend, or excuse me, I guess the end of last week, with Gary and Jason and one of their officers, Greg, Scott, what was his name?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah. Anyhow, we're gonna have some videos.
What was his name? He's a sergeant. Sergeant. Yeah. We'll just call him Sergeant.
Yeah.
Sarge.
But great guys. Yeah. And
that was fun.
Yeah, really enjoyed that.
Well, speaking of cops,
yeah,
tomorrow at 5:30, Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen, right here live on EOA Live. We take your guys' questions and Cody answers them. And I mean, we're getting ready for election, so I mean, it'd be a great time for you guys to chime in and hit Cody with some tough questions. He likes the tough ones.
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from whatever it is.
And he speaks his mind too.
Yeah.
He don't hold back.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday at 6:30, we're gonna live stream the candidate forum. So it'll be all of the candidates for county commissioner, and then it'll be the 2 judge spots. One somebody's running unopposed, but he is gonna participate. And then the other 2, the other spot, there's 2 people running for it, and then the sheriff. So Rollins and Cody will all be part of this forum, and that'll be 6:30 p.m. live right here on EOA Live.
And if you want to go to that event in person, it's at the community center out in Union.
Yeah, it's such a strange place for it too, like out in Union.
Oh well, I'm happy that they were motivated to do it.
Yeah, it's being put on by Union County or Union Chamber of Commerce and Main Street Union. Union Main Street.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yep.
I was. They had a meet and greet this last weekend out at Rattletail Coffee.
Is that in Union?
Yeah, in Union with Bobby Levy and Will Lathrop, who's running for Oregon Attorney General, and Todd Nash, and that was it was an interesting event. And
Todd Nash is up Wallowa County.
Yeah, he's running for state senate.
Huh.
So anyhow, I had never been in that coffee shop, and it's nice. I mean, it's a combination of Union. I mean, it's Union. I mean, it's just. I mean, like it's the atmosphere. The atmosphere is very much like a modern coffee shop, but on the same hand, you've got a very much a Union hometown flair.
Huh.
And I've
never been there.
I had neither. I just happened to. Well, I mean, I was impressed. Their coffee was good.
I'm really hoping that they have a really strong moderator and timekeeper for Thursday, because with as many people as there are, the guy that I talked to was talking about trying to get 6 questions for each person. There's no way. If you give 6, there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people.
Right.
14 candidates across the board.
Right.
If you give 6 questions at 2 minutes apiece, you can't only give 1 minute for somebody to answer a question. Yeah. They're going to go 2 minutes, and that's 4 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how.
And the email that I got as a candidate, and I'm the one sure you got too. It said it was going to be 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I guess they could probably.
Yeah.
They're just going to have a really strong moderator and timekeeper that are just like, you're done. Like,
no,
we ain't
it's
playing
like
around
we've done enough of these. I mean, it's weird for me to be on the other end of it, but we know that they can just get out of control unless you have somebody who's super. Yeah,
Alex is saying petition for Doddsy to moderate. No, nope. I'm not. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm gonna moderate. I'm gonna moderate the comments on our Facebook, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm not going to touch them unless somebody says something, inappropriate or mean.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll let them talk all they want on there.
Yeah. No, good for them that they're doing it. And we just, I have known about it for a while, but I didn't promote it to be on our network, and you kind of pursued that and stuff. And because I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this stuff. And
well, it's it's something that if you weren't running, we would have it on.
Absolutely.
So I figured, you know what I mean? Like we gotta, because not everybody's going to be able to go out to Yemen. And I think people need to see what everybody's, where everybody stands. And
well, and it's gonna
you got a lot of people to choose from.
Yeah. And it's going to be a simpler webcast than what we normally do. Because
just one single camera.
Just because normally I'm the one that's making it happen, and that's not possible. So
nope, we're going to tap in. I haven't heard back about their internet yet. I'm waiting for a call from Donna.
Yeah.
But one camera, we'll just tap into their audio, and bam, we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
That's it.
So at least people will be able to see and hear people and see the candidates and I think
I'm sure people will complain, find something to complain about, but it's
all of the forums that I've been a part of, they've had some prepared questions, and then they took some questions from the audience.
That's what Fred, the guy who's heading it up, he said that last night when I talked to him on the phone. He said that they as a panel, like they came up with like three or four questions, and then they're going to have boxes where you can drop questions in the.
Right.
And I told them, I'll pay attention on our Facebook feed too, and if people have questions from there, I'll drop them in the box too.
I had a friend who I was talking to about this, and he said, "Wouldn't it be an interesting question?" And I would love it if it came out, especially for the 9 commissioners. The question would be, if you weren't running, which one of the other ones would you vote for? Yeah.
I wouldn't want to answer that. I wouldn't want to answer that.
Yeah. Well, no panelist would necessarily want to answer it. But
it's a setup question.
Well, but I think that, the whole point of having elections is that, good people. And I love that about the commissioner race. There's a lot of good people in there.
It's like what I did to Hunter after he won the national title.
Yeah.
One of the questions I busted on him was, if you weren't in the bracket, who wins?
Oh, yeah.
And he answered it, but that would be a tough, that's tough. Like, I don't know. I haven't accepted any of how all the county commissioners have their page and they send you a thing to
like them. Yeah.
I haven't accepted any of them.
I've been looking at mine, wondering why you haven't accepted.
I have a whole list of them. I just don't. It's not my thing.
In the past, it's kind of funny. In the past, when from the TV side, I normally just go in just like everybody's page, so then we can be informed of what's going on and what they're talking about and so on and so forth. Yeah, but like in this particular climate, I haven't liked anybody's page just because.
Me neither.
Yeah, because it's the political stupid ramifications. You're like,
I just stay. Politics are about the last thing I want to talk about. Well, I like hearing about what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't like the bad part of politics. I don't like the shady part, like the part where people treat each other bad.
Well, and I think you and I talked about this offline, how weird it is. Well, we did with Paul but I don't think we talked about it. Anyhow, how weird it is that there's 9 people running for county commissioner, but all of the city of LeGrand seats are unopposed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
4 open seats or 4 people.
2 years ago, they were all
opposed. It was the same number of seats,
yep.
and there were 2 candidates for each one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah. It must have been something in the water during COVID. I have no idea.
Well, and I hear that too. I still hear a lot of, as I'm listening to people, I still hear residue of, they're part of them, they're angry. They're just angry about COVID, and rightfully so. I mean, I understand people being upset.
Well, I mean, get over it. It's done and over now. You can't change it.
And I agree with that. At some point, it's like, yeah, move on.
Yeah,
we learned
change nothing.
We learned that lesson.
Yeah.
That was brutal for a lot of people. You know?
And the people that are the most angry are most likely adults. And dude, if you really think about it, the people that got affected the most by COVID, I hate to say this, aren't adults.
No, they're kids.
It's kids. Those kids got blasted by COVID.
Yeah.
They just, like, I always say this. I fall back on my own son because he was one of the COVID kids that started his high school career COVID. His freshman year, he didn't get to go to school.
See, isn't that
you know
crazy?
what I mean? Like, you're so excited. I remember when I was that age, how tense and how everything, you know, like, I'm going to be a high schooler. I'm going to have a locker in the freshman hall at the high school.
Yeah.
I'm going to play high school baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't get any of that.
Wow.
Like, those kids just didn't get it. And then now they're expected to go to class, you know, 3 years later, even 2 years later, 1 year later, they're expected to go to class, which they have no idea how to really do, you know, their sophomore year, and be successful. It's like, oh, man, it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, yep. Well, hey, I have a couple of math trivia questions.
Math trivia questions? That's my strong point.
Math, I know. That's why I went for it. Okay, yeah. So
how hard are they?
They're not that hard.
Oh, then.
Yeah.
Are they riddles or is it?
No. So what is the square root of 81?
9.
Okay.
That's easy, BC.
Yeah. Okay. So Mary was born in 1972. What birthday does she celebrate in 2020?
2020?
Yeah.
48.
Yeah. Yeah, these aren't hard enough.
No, this is like, are you smarter than a second grader?
Okay. Carl's monthly phone bill is $42. How much does he pay in a year?
$504.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you're good at this. All right. Mark scores 12 out of 75 on a math test. What was his percentage?
Well, not very good.
No, not very. Yeah, see, I mean,
75. Hang on. 75. Oh. 16%.
15.
15%.
Very close, yeah. I wouldn't have. Yeah, that's tough. There's no way I could do that in my head. Okay, one more.
All right.
Each episode of a cartoon is 8 minutes long. How many would they complete in 2 hours?
8 minutes?
Yeah, each episode 8 minutes long. If they watched 2 hours of TV, how many episodes would they watch?
Oh, if they watched 2 hours of TV, if they watched 80 minutes, that'd be 10. So that's an hour and 20, so 45. That's going to be 15 again.
Yeah.
That's like, those are the questions you would get. Like, that's probably Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader questions.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not unlike. Yeah.
All right. You want so now you get some this or that.
Oh. Okay.
Playlists or podcasts?
What's that?
Playlists or podcasts?
What do you mean?
This or that? Which one? Which one do you prefer? Playlists or podcasts?
Podcasts.
Shoes or slippers?
Shoes.
Pork or beef?
Beef.
Swimming pool or the beach?
Beach.
Salt or pepper?
Ooh. I'm a big fan of both. Probably salt.
We have to have salt for food.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
every food has salt. If we ate food without salt, it wouldn't it would be terrible. I mean,
Right, but I'm thinking from the standpoint of like, if I have eggs that are not seasoned at all, and I could only have one.
oh, I'd probably put pepper on eggs.
Yeah.
Laptop or tablet?
Laptop.
Movies or TV shows?
Man, that kind of depends on the mood. I'd say shows.
Rain or snow?
Rain. What would you say on that one?
I hate them both. I would probably take snow. Well, I don't like getting wet, but I don't like moving snow. Like, I don't like being out in the snow, so I'll take the rain.
Yeah, and that's why I said rain
I'll
too.
take the
Is
rain.
because snow is, I mean, yeah, because snow can create inconveniences that rain doesn't have.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi. What did you think about Pepsi or, excuse me,
Pizza or pasta? I'm taking pizza probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm taking Pepsi. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate. But again, this
for
is like,
sure.
so I love milk chocolate by itself, but if I'm drinking coffee, I love dark chocolate.
Hot or cold?
Hot or cold, like temperature outside or
Yeah,
whatever.
or anything,
Yeah.
like drink, whatever, however you want to do
Cold.
it. I'm taking
Cold,
cold
yeah.
too. Boiled egg or fried egg?
Fried.
Same. Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
I'm taking cake probably. The only time I ever touch milk is if there's a red velvet cake. Okay, I'll take it and I'll put it in a bowl and pour a little bit of milk on it. But that's the only time I'll ever drink milk, unless it's like in cooking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only time. Comb or brush?
Comb.
Same. Sausage or bacon?
Bacon.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Yeah.
that's not even a question for me.
Yeah.
Wings or ribs?
Ribs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, more meat on 'em.
Wings are a pain in the butt.
Oh man, you know, I will. Whenever I go get like hot wings or something like that, I always get the drumstick portion because the other is like it's a waste of time.
Yeah, the flats.
Yeah.
The flats are a pain in the butt.
Is that what they call those?
Yeah, flats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Fabric or leather?
Well, if you had, you know, if you were relegated to either one or the other your entire life, you know, probably
No, I'm
fabric.
talking like for like furniture or your car.
Oh, I see. A preference in that manner.
Yeah.
Probably leather.
I'm taking fabric.
Are you?
Yeah, you've never lived in Southern California though. If you have leather in Southern California, you sit down on the car and you stick to it because you know you're wearing shorts.
Right,
you're wearing-
yeah.
And as soon as you start sweating, that leather is so damn hot, and
Yeah.
you just stick to it. My grandparents had leather couches when I was a kid, but they didn't let anybody sit on them. They were covered.
Really?
You know, and yeah, they were in the family room, which is the other living room where nobody got to sit. But I did get to sit on them. Like after my grandma passed away, my grandpa uncovered them and let people, and they were horrible, man. Like you try to sleep on a leather couch. Oh. Piano or guitar?
Wow, boy, I like both of them a lot. Probably piano.
I'm taking guitar. Tattoos or piercings?
Probably tattoos.
Motorcycle or bicycle?
Motorcycle.
I'm taking a bike. I don't like motorcycles.
You not? Why?
No, I just don't. I never have.
I mean-
burnt when I was a little kid. I hopped on my mom's buddy's back of his motorcycle,
Yeah.
and I didn't know, and I touched the inside of my calf to the exhaust pipe and burnt the crap out of
Yeah,
myself.
that the hide goes away right away.
And I'm not a speed dude either, so like
Yeah.
I've never had a.
I've spent a fair amount of time on motorcycles, but it's really easy to get totally over your head in just a very short period of time.
Outback or Texas Roadhouse? Have you had them both?
Yeah, I have. I would say Outback.
I'm taking Texas Roadhouse because their butter is so good.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, they have rolls and they serve it with like this.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
This really like sweet butter, and then you can also, they don't do it anymore, but you used to be able to eat peanuts and throw the shells on the ground at Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. They have one in Salem. Soft or hard tacos?
I like hard tacos.
See, I like
they're messier.
I like double decker. Take the beans and put it on the flour, stick the hard one inside,
and they don't.
And then you don't make a mess.
And they got rid of that on their
I make
menu.
them at home.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just take the beans and you spread them on the flour tortilla, and then you make your hard taco and you put it in there, and then when you eat it, it doesn't. The hard one breaks, but it doesn't fall apart. Like vanilla or chocolate.
Vanilla.
I'd probably go vanilla too. Lobster or crab?
Oh, probably crab. I could eat a lot. I mean,
have you ever had like Alaskan king crab, like the big?
No, I really would. Yeah,
it's BC. It's a life-changing experience. You're eating pieces of crab that are
I know. I can only imagine. Yeah.
Oh man, the first time I ever had that, I thought I was in heaven.
Yeah.
Like, I really did. I had it in Vegas one time. I've had it twice. I've had it in Vegas and once in Portland. There used to be a all-you-can-eat Japanese buffet. I think it was called Kyoto.
Yeah.
And it was in Washington Square Mall, or in that same area. Yeah. And all the Blazers used to go there. When you walk in, there would be this big, like, thing, like, round tub with king crab legs sticking out of it. And it was full of ice. And that was part of the buffet. Oh, my goodness.
See, and I would love that. So here's a funny story. So the very first time, I mean, I grew up poor, really modest, you know, and the very first time that it was Sizzler, and I went with my girlfriend's family, and they bought dinner, and I must have gotten lobster or crab or something. Anyhow, it came with the melted butter.
Yeah.
And I took the melted butter and poured it over my baked potato. Yeah. And my girlfriend said, like,
that was for your crab,
I think that was for your crab. Like,
you know what the best thing about Sizzler is? That bread. That toast like that.
Yeah.
Oh my
and I make
Parmesan cheese on it.
See, I make that kind of too. It's
Texas toast and it's got butter and Parmesan cheese, but the way they made it at Sizzler, man. That Sizzler, when I was a kid, that was like, oh, it's treat night. Like if we ever got to go to Sizzler, it was like they had the all-you-can-eat bar at Sizzler. And
there's sometimes I'll make like the super cheese grilled cheese sandwiches, you know. So you make the grilled cheese the way you normally would with regular, but then on the outside of it you put Parmesan cheese, a mixture of Parmesan cheese and butter, you know.
There was a food truck in Dallas before I moved back home, and it was a grilled cheese food truck. And she made her own homemade bread, and she made this grilled cheese that was bacon, blackberry preserves, and there's a lot of blackberries around there. She made them from scratch, and brie. It was brie, blackberry preserves, and bacon on a grill. And then she took like either some mix of cheddar and white cheese, and she made the crust on the outside cheese as well. Oh my gosh, it was.
Well, I tell you which reminds me. So Tap That just down the street here, they have these little curds, cheese curds. I don't know if you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
deep fried cheese.
Deep fried.
I used to live an hour from Tillamook,
right,
BC.
Right, but the cool thing is they have this bacon jam that you dip them in. I'm telling you, that stuff is. I mean, if you've not been there, you go check that out.
I mean, I've never even had their food because tap house isn't really my kind
Yeah.
of spot to
Yeah.
hang out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's
But
just,
boy, I tell you, it's like, yeah, that.
you know who else has really good bacon jam? If
Who's
we're
that?
saying names, Cock and Bull, their bacon jam is phenomenal.
I've not had bacon jam before.
I get the onion rings and
Yeah.
then dip it in the bacon jam.
Yeah.
Whew. Whew. Man. Bud Force says, smarter than a 70-year-old. Not me. I would never claim to be smarter than somebody that's been on this planet that long. I mean, if you've been here 70 years, man, that's a long time to soak up
Gather
information. Yeah, you're an information gatherer. You got George Washington in your yearbook. You're probably there when they signed the damn Declaration of Independence.
Oh my gosh.
You know all about it. I also like the sauce from the Cock and Bull sauce too. That's really good.
Yeah, that honey mustard.
Whatever
that.
signature
You're
sauce.
right, and that's like I'll get their Cock and Bull sandwich, or it's their. I mean, it's the one with ham, so it's a combination of turkey and ham, and I've got to have extra of that sauce, and on every bite, I got to put a little bit more.
He said year after. You just missed him.
Yeah.
You know what we should do sometime? We should rate different foods. Like, I'll tell you right now, the best ranch in town, hands down, Benchwarmer's Long Branch. No question.
Do they make their own ranch?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. And it's the best.
Huh.
And I'm picky about ranch. I like ranch.
See, and I'm not I only eat ranch when they don't have blue cheese.
Yeah, my parents do blue cheese too on everything.
Yeah, and talking about blue cheese, Mamacita's makes their own blue cheese.
Oh, do they?
And that's that blue cheese dressing, and that's like.
And then second best ranch in town is Denny's, believe it or not, in my opinion. But Denny's is kind of underrated too, because I would honestly put Denny's burger in the top 3 in town.
I agree.
They're like not just their regular old burger, but the specialty burgers that they do are.
Denny's has it dialed in. I mean
their food's not bad.
No, and it's super consistent. And
Always the same. You get moons over my hammy, you're getting moons over my hammy.
Yep.
The eggs are cooked exactly the same.
Yep.
Yeah. The toast or the bread is always toasted the same. You know what I mean? It's always fries are always cooked the same. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And we've talked about that before. Like one of the most important, actually the most important thing for a restaurant is consistency. There's no doubt. Because I always say if I go somewhere and I like something.
Right.
Say I like the fries.
Right.
And I go back the next time and they got a different kind of fries. I didn't come for a different kind of fries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I came from those same fries that I had the week before. That's one of the that's why you see places I hate to say it, but McDonald's has got to be the most consistent place on the planet.
Yeah.
You can't screw that up.
Right.
They have it all set up to where
Right.
the times, everything. It's all made in the same. You know what I mean?
Super consistent.
You're not. There's. You know what I mean? A monkey could do it.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but we should do that sometime. We should start doing some food ratings or something. That'll be fun.
Well, you and Gabe, you and Gabe should do that. He's a foodie.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. I mean.
I think I remember we Johnny and I, when we were on the radio, we brought we had the Cove Steakhouse sponsored us, and this is when they reopened, when Hassie bought it, maybe a couple weeks after being open, and they brought us breakfast at the studio one time. Oh my God. We ate it on the air. It was so spectacular.
Yeah.
It was.
I'll tell you though, the one of the best burgers still out there is the gal who owned the Cove Steakhouse before them. She had a burger.
Where? Oh, out there?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh man, it was, and I have her name written
Their
down.
burgers are not bad out there at Cove Steakhouse.
No,
they're not bad. That's what when we went out there and had lunch a few weeks later. That's what I had when I went out there, and it was not bad.
Yeah.
There's some good spots in town. Next door's got really good burgers, I think.
Yeah.
I would put them up. I'd put them in like the top 3 or 4 in town.
Yeah.
You know how I judge a restaurant for breakfast?
How's that?
Chicken fried steak. You order the chicken fried steak. If it's good, you know what I mean. If their gravy's good and the chicken fried steak's good, you can say that's a solid breakfast place.
Yeah.
And then I judge lunch by the Reuben or the burger.
Yeah.
Because Reubens, you can mess those up
Yeah.
if you're not using good ingredients, and you know what I mean. And then dinner wise, I don't rate them because I can make a better steak at home than any place in town.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I mean, it's not hard, and I don't feel like any restaurants around here put a lot of effort into cooking a steak.
Yeah. See, I still love not benchwarmers, but right next Long Branch.
Yeah.
Their Long Branch breakfasts.
Yeah. I get their breakfast sandwich all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stellar, you know. I mean, and part of that is the uniqueness of that particular style of cafe where you got the counter and the grill. It's just right.
You just watch them cook your breakfast.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And it's hard to beat. Like their breakfast sandwiches, he always makes it fat, eggs, bacon, cheese.
yeah,
$10 with hash browns. You can't get that anywhere in town.
right.
I don't know. We're giving that free.
Well, so I'm cutting back now. It's like all of this stuff that we're talking about is like I'm trying to cut back on carbs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and all of that bread, man, all of that stuff just.
It's crazy how the stuff that's really good for you is way more expensive.
Yeah,
That's part of the problem.
I know it.
I was watching this thing, and I mean, I understand the importance of like welfare and food stamps and this and that, but I was watching a TikTok about a lady that had like 7 kids. She gets like $1,200 a month in food stamps, and I was just thinking to myself, like and she was doing her grocery shop for the month, and I was like, man, like I work and I can't eat food like that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's no way I couldn't eat as healthy as I want to, even, you know what I mean? Because it's so expensive.
Right.
So expensive. It really is.
Well, and I'm having troubles figuring out what to eat, like for breakfast. I mean, because I'm trying to do low carb and higher protein, you know, and
Yeah, bacon,
yeah,
eggs,
you're right,
boiled eggs.
Well, and that's why but I mean, you do a couple of mornings of boiled eggs, and it's like, oh man, I gotta find something else to have, you know.
BC, I ate an egg every day while I was on that dumb diet.
Yeah.
Remember the Metrim?
Yeah.
That was an egg you added an egg to this powder that made it taste kind of like onions.
Yeah.
And that's what I had every morning
Wow.
for, 5.5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof. That was tough, man.
Yeah, that's more dedication. Yeah, Bud Forrest says Long Branch was good 50 years ago.
Bud said he had breakfast with Daniel Boomer.
But the cook, the main cook that they have at the
short
Long
guy.
Branch,
Yeah, he's the
he
best.
has been there for over 20 years.
Well, and then the lady that makes the ranch, she's like in her probably like right around 60.
Yeah.
Long dark hair.
Yeah.
She's been there since I don't even know how long, but she's the one that makes the ranch, and they got it down. It's crazy though, like trying to find help. Right, like they've had nights where you couldn't even get like real food because they didn't have a cook. You could only get fried food.
No,
like on a Friday night.
No, I mean, Tanya and I had that incident. It's been a bit ago, you know, where they had their menu was limited just because they didn't have the right cook in the house.
Yeah, they just have a bartender, and all they can do is just put down fried food.
Well, and it's funny because I talked to Matt. One of the things because Matt experiences that at his businesses, and he's a county commissioner, and so then he actually followed the chain. It's like, well, how come? And I think he talked about that day, last time he was here. You know, how come the state is enabling this unemployment problem? I mean, because they're paying unemployment benefits, but they've kind of relaxed their need for people to check in and, you know, look for a
Was
job.
that
and
more
so,
during COVID, or is that still
no,
going
that's
on?
current.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And so Matt went up the chain to the labor department in the state of Oregon, and it's in their staff. I mean, they're supposed to be following a certain set of guidelines. And
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
like check on jobs. You gotta,
But they're just choosing not to. They well, you know, we have, look at the unemployment numbers, you know. I mean, so they use, and unemployment numbers are way down, but what we're experiencing around here does not match those numbers.
No,
you know?
everybody's hiring.
Right.
Much.
Right. And so the unemployment department is like, well, we don't need to follow those guidelines because unemployment's down. We're just going to leave it like it is, you know. So yeah, so that's a real problem. I don't know where the solution is there, but anyhow.
If anybody has questions for Thursday night, you can like for any of the candidates, you can post them here, and I'll look and I'll put them in the box for you on Thursday if they're appropriate. So if you have a question for the sheriff or for county commissioner or for judge for the forum for Thursday night, I will. If you put them in the comments here, I'll write them down on Thursday and put them in the box for you at the forum.
But the questions are for the position, not for a particular person.
Yeah, it'll be asked to everybody.
Yeah,
All 9 candidates for commissioner will get the same question.
Now the exception of that is tomorrow night's show.
Yeah,
when Cody will be here, and you can ask
him whatever the heck you want.
Yep, you can ask specific questions. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's public knowledge. He wasn't going to do the forum, and then he decided to do it. That's what Fred was telling me yesterday. So that's good. Everybody that's running, even the guy that's running unopposed.
See, and I don't even know who that is. I'm
There's
aware.
2 judge positions
are open, and one of them's unopposed. Yeah.
One of them is the Williams, and what's the other guy's name?
Jared Boyd.
Yeah. And then the other one is Potter, maybe, or something. I don't want to misquote it. Let's say the name, but he's running unopposed.
Okay.
And then Cody, and then I can't name all the.
Yeah.
I mean, people.
All the commissioners.
Yeah,
there's 9 of them. Yeah. Well, cool.
It's crazy the age range too for the people that are running for commissioner. Everywhere from.
Who's the youngest?
Probably Jake.
Yeah.
Jake is the youngest.
He's 45. Is that how old you are?
Yeah. And then it goes all the way to.
Yeah, I don't know who's the oldest. I don't know. I want to go there.
I mean, Merle's got to be up there. Robin Church is probably up there. I mean, she retired.
Merle's my age.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
okay, so Robin Church maybe she's retired. She's got to be in her 60s.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty big, gap. 20 years.
I saw her out at, and I mean, these are wonderful people. Merle's a wonderful person. Robin Church is a wonderful person. And I saw her out at the thing on Saturday. So.
Is that somebody banging on the door out there?
I don't know. Somebody tried to get in.
It was the mail lady.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the one with the walking calves.
Uh-huh.
I call her calves. She's got awesome calves from delivering mail for so long.
Yeah. Well, hey, you want to get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, in 1748, March 19th, the Naturalization Act passes, granting Jews the right to colonize North American colonies. And here's a little fun fact of trivia. There's more Jewish people in the United States than Israel. We found that out the other day. I don't remember what we were looking at, but there's more Jewish people in the United States than there are in Israel. That's great. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
And they're the top 2. They're pretty close, but there's actually more here in the U.S. 1831, the first U.S. bank robbery. The City Bank in New York is robbed of $245,000. In 1831, $245,000 is a lot of money.
245,000?
Yeah, in 1831 though.
Wow.
Yeah, could you imagine having that kind of money in 1831? You'd be like a billionaire.
Wow.
Like in today's world, or a multi-millionaire. 1915, on this day, Pluto is photographed for the first time. Although at the time that it was photographed, they didn't know it was Pluto.
Huh.
The very first pictures of Pluto. They had no idea what it was. 79 on this day, 1979, the U.S. House of Representatives begins live TV broadcast via C-SPAN. 79. Wow. 2003 on this day, airstrikes by an American and British-led coalition signal the beginning of the invasion of Iraq without United Nations support and in defiance of world opinion. 2003, so 21 years ago.
Wow.
Number one movie in America on this day in 1984, Police Academy. One of the awesome movies.
84.
That movie's so good. Quote of the day comes from Walt Whitman. Let your soul stand cool and composed before a million universes. One more time. Let your soul stand cool and composed before a million universes.
All right.
That's it.
Good stuff.
Tomorrow night, 5:30, Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen. Thursday night, 6:30, the forum for all of the different candidates, county commissioner, sheriff, judges. Yeah, we're going to be busy the next couple of days.
Yeah. All righty.
See you on Thursday.
Thank you, Eastern Oregon. See you soon.